Hi, welcome to Sheepish, episode 41. Today is Sunday, June 29th, 2014, and I'm Holly. So, how is everybody? It's been a few weeks. I went camping. That was awesome. I got to spend time with my bestie. But since then, life's been crazy insane. Work has been kicking my butt, and up until now, I just haven't been in a good place to record. So I thought I'd record, say hi. There hasn't been a lot going on. But let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to apologize right now because I don't know why my camera seems to keep freezing on me. I'll see what I can do about that in the editing process, but I don't know. Anyway, so let's get started with what's on the current roster. So, I have only 2 things on the current roster right now. Not because I've actually added anything to the alumni roster. Don't get excited. But first up are these. This is one of my Wobble Socks, or actually this is the first one. And it's being knit out of Highland Handmade Sugar Maple Sock Yarn in the Though She Be But Little colorway. And it's 75% superwash, 25% nylon. Whoops. And it's 425 yards. The Collie Wobbles pattern is by Emily Estrada, who hosts the Fibertown podcast. And if you are not watching the Fibertown podcast, you should be. Also, Heather, who dyes Highland Handmaids, is also the host of the Fiberista Files podcast. And if you aren't watching that, you should. Okay, that being said. But yeah, progress has been slow on these. I don't know why. I kind of lost my sock knitting mojo. These were going to be my June socks. These are going to still be June socks, but they may be finished in July. Kind of like the May socks were finished in June. Whatever. I'm a month behind. But yeah, I don't know. I picked these up and I don't really want to work on them. The yarn is wonderful. The pattern's super easy and it's well written. It's a simple quilted lattice. But I don't know. There's just something about them that I don't know. I'm also thinking that I might need to rip the sock out and just start again. And because there's a mistake at the very beginning, I'm not going to point it out because other people have told me that I'm crazy for even noticing it. So we'll see. And that's living in my brand new Kath Kidston bag that was brought to me from Michelle when she went on her cruise. They stopped over in London and she stopped at the Kath Kidston store for me. Which, thank you. Thank you, love. And then secondly on the needles, if you follow me on Instagram, you definitely have seen what's on the needles. So living in my Piddle Loop Owls bag because I heart owls. Is, if I can get this untangled, this. Oh, okay. There we go. That's better. That's kind of true to color-ish. This is the Springtime Bandit pattern. It is by Kate Gagnon Osborne of Kelborn Woolens. I am currently teaching this as an intro to lace, as my intro to lace class. And it's a 2-week class. We started it last week, or I started teaching it last week, and I didn't have anything that I wasn't going to knit it, and then I decided, fine, I'll knit it, and I thought I had worsted weight yarn that would be perfect for it. I don't. I mean, I thought I did. I was going to use this, which is my very first loop bump that I ever spun up, and I chain plied. I thought I had enough. So didn't have enough. Not even close. So that got re-skeined and yeah. So I decided to change the gauge because that's what I do. So this is part of, oh, I don't know where the tag went. Did I put the tag in here? I don't think I was that smart. No. Well, this was part of one of the paint box gradient sets by Fiber Optic. I got it at Maryland Sheep and Wool this year, and it was the bitter lime to rose gradient. So you can see here I've got the lightest, which is that lime, going into this green. And you've got, what I love about this is that you've got those transition skeins that take the color from the color before and the next color. Yeah. Yeah. So I am on color 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. I'm on color 8 on my 7th repeat. And I'm almost out of that, this much left to go. Now, each of these were in small little 30-yard skeins, mini skeins. So not big enough to go on a Swift. If there are children around, cover their ears, because, yeah, it was a pain in the ass to knit or to wind these. Just saying. I actually, up until like that color, I was hand winding each of them, and I was just knotting them in, magic knotting them in, but that meant that I had to carry all of the skeins, and that got to be a pain. So then yesterday I decided, well, why don't I just go ahead, wind them, and wind them all into one. That was brilliant. It really was. I don't have many of those. But, oh my God, it was a pain to deal with. And then when I wound them, and then I wound each of them into mini little center pull balls, and then I had the bright idea to do the magic knots, and then that way I'm always pulling from the inside going into the next ball. So magic knot from the inside, and then outside to the next inside. That worked until I realized I went the wrong way. Yeah. But, so I'm in the 7th repeat of the body. Other people who have done this and done this in a fingering weight say that 7 was what they needed to get really close to the end. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking that I want to do 1 to 2 more extra repeats, which means that I'm going to run out of yarn. So I'm going to have to be on the lookout for something that's around that color. And that's so not showing up. But it's a beautiful plummy. Like, oh. So, I don't know. But today is the last class in the series. So we're going to be talking about what they did over the week and the edge chart. We'll talk about the differences in the edge chart, how to bind off, and then the basics of like how to wash and block. Yeah. So after I finish this, that's when I'm going to actually head to the shop so I can go teach and then come home and hopefully edit if I can get all of this done in a short period of time. Of course, I always say that I'm going to do a short one and then it turns out being long, but okay, if I keep talking. Yeah. Let's see. So there's nothing to add to the alumni roster just because, hi, it's me. I did get my Highland Handmaids, and I don't know where that is. So that's just going to have to wait till next time. I got my May order, my May shipment of the Snapshots from Maine Yarn Club, and it's missing right now. So I'm going to have to take a look for that. But yeah, I've been really good. I've been trying not to buy extra stuff because I really, really shouldn't. Let's see what else. If there's anything else. I mean, I've been on a pattern buying spree. I keep finding these patterns that I want to knit, and I probably, let's see. Actually, let me go into my Ravelry library, because then I can tell you exactly what it is. So I actually, after seeing a bunch of people knit the Through the Loops mystery shawl, I went ahead and signed up for it. As you see, nothing's been cast on. But I kind of fell in love with it. So that's going to actually hit the needles sooner rather than later. The shawl, I believe the final clue went up this week. So that's always good. I can see what it looks like all at once. I love mystery shawls, but I don't like actually knitting them. Or I like mystery knit-alongs. I like the idea, but I don't knowing not knowing what's going to happen. So, and then there was the search for the perfect socks that I wanted to knit, and so I decided on the collie wobbles. But then I was looking at the couplet socks. They are a newer pattern that I can see in Ravelry. They've only got 12 projects. Let's see if I can find them on here. Oh, I actually pulled them up. Oops. So these are the couplet socks, and they are by Bonnie Sennett. And yeah, I don't have much in the way of tonal sock yarn, but I will find some because why not? They're cute. Yeah, I need to look through yarn and see what I've got in the way of tonal. I'd rather use something from Stash right now than buy more sock yarn because I have more of it. Yeah. So yeah. Really, wow, that's about it knitting wise. I know we did have a question added to the Ask Me Anything thread. So I'll go ahead and answer that because I meant to do it last week. Sorry, Bethany. Bethany, who's Latina Knits, asked, I was just wondering how you store or protect your knitted garments and socks. I recently reached for a pair of socks kept in my dresser with lavender and found a small hole on the leg that wasn't from a dropped stitch. Ooh, sorry about that. I'm also probably not the best person to ask about this because I'm really not that precious with it all. I probably should be better. But when I store my socks, it really is just putting them away in the dresser, or I have a plastic under bed like drawer, you know, one of those Sterilite things, where I put some socks in there as well. I'm not really precious about it at all. I kind of chalk it up to if it happens, they had a good life. Now, that also being said, I haven't had many socks that have met that fate. Usually when I find them with a hole in it, it's because George has gotten to them because he loves the knitted stuff and he doesn't just nuzzle, he bites. Yeah. So that's how I lose knitted things usually. But yeah, I'm not really precious about it at all. I try to make sure that everything gets a nice good wash before they do get put away. I actually need to do some of that with some of my socks today, or not today, or at least sometime this week. I've been really bad. I need to give my sweaters a final. I know it's June. It's June 29th. It's the end of June, and I'm just now thinking about, hey, let me put my sweaters away. Yeah. So yeah. I hope that answers your question. It was kind of a non-answer answer. Also, I know that you asked me a question ages ago that I thought everybody would like to know the answer to. So Bethany also asked me, again, ages ago, what length needle do I use when I magic loop? And I'll pull out the collie wobbles again because I can. And when I magic loop, I use a 32 inch. Now, there are lots of people out there who say that that's way too small for them, who will use it in a pinch. But for me, it's perfectly fine. I've tried magic looping on much longer needles, like 40 and 47 inch needles. And I find that it's a pain to deal with. For me, there's too much extra cord and things get, So for me, 32 inches is ideal. Um, these are my Chiagu red lace needles. So they're really nice and pointy. Um, I use these or my Haya sharps as my go-tos. But for me, it's always 32. Like my bestie, she likes the 40 inch. So, everybody's different, but that's what works best for me. Just because I don't like to have a lot of extra stuff going on. Oh, stay. Let's see. What else? So I guess that brings me to what's making me happy this week. And we're only at like 16 minutes. What? Um, so what's making me happy this week? Really, I gotta say, I'm really blessed. I have some great friends. Like I said, I saw my bestie a couple weeks ago when we went camping, and I will see her again towards the end of this month because we have a wedding that we're going to on my birthday, and the next week we're going camping again. So there is that. And Friday night, I got to spend some time with Michelle, and I love having Michelle time. We actually had drinks and dinner and then went to see a show at Signature Theater here in Arlington. Cloak and Dagger. It's hilarious. It's like at times it was just so ridiculous, but it was so funny and it was very worth it. It was much better than the last show that we saw at Signature, the one that we walked out of, because it was like, what the hell? Again, sorry. I try to be good about that. Also, what's making me happy is the NHL draft is going on right now. And normally that wouldn't make me so happy. These are kids that we're not going to see come up to the Caps in a while. For a while. Whatever. However, we've drafted some good prospects, and we drafted, I don't know if you remember last year around the time of development camp, I was talking about the fact that we had we had signed an undrafted player from the Aussie League, and he would be the first Aussie player in the NHL or its affiliates, I think. I know it's in the NHL. Well, we drafted him. We officially drafted him. This was his last year of eligibility of draft, I believe. And we drafted him, and that's kind of awesome. And he was on Twitter just saying, thank you, everybody, for all your support. Yeah. So that was very cool. Nathan Weeks. I've heard that he's been doing great things in Hershey. And I really need to get up to see a game, just because I do love the Hershey Bears as well. I just never get to go see their games because they're 2 hours away, 2.5 hours away, which in the grand scheme of things, not that long, not that far, but yeah. So yay. And let's see, getting to see the Instagram feeds of the boys on the team has been kind of funny. Alex Ovechkin, our captain, was in Las Vegas this past week because the NHL awards were being given out, and he won the Rocket Richard trophy for the most goals in a season again. So he won that, and that was awesome. And yeah, so hockey, it's not that far away anymore. I know, it just ended. And congrats. Hi, everybody. I just remembered something else that's making me happy and that I wanted to let you guys know about before I put this up. And so I decided I'd go ahead and insert this here. So my friend Bridget Devlin, who is the owner of B. Devlin Designs on Etsy, is doing a fundraiser. She's supporting Team Eve in the Cure Search Ultimate Hike 2014. And through August 1st, a portion of all of her sales are donated to benefit children's cancer research. So $3 from the sale of children's knitting needles and $1 from any other item are donated in honor of Team Eve. So her Etsy shop is right there, etsy.com/shop/bdevlindesigns and facebook.com/bdevlindesigns. She messaged me on Facebook or posted the picture on my wall on Facebook, and she is a friend of mine, so I will put that out there. I have known her since my Knit Happens days, and I'm happy to help out. So take a look at what she's got. She does some beautiful handcrafted needles. So they're gorgeous. And yeah, so take a look. Anyway, back to the rest of this. Anyway. So yeah, let's see, what else is making me happy? Like I said, I am teaching this afternoon. I am teaching a class, a small class, for my lace class, and it's really only 3 people, and 2 of the 3 were in previous classes. Actually, they both were in previous sock classes of mine. So that's kind of cool that they want to keep taking classes. And one of them taught herself lace and basic chart reading. She's just in the class now because, excuse me. Hi, excuse you. No, you don't. That's not for kitties. She's in the class to get some helpful tips. And for those of you who haven't watched all the episodes, this is Jimmy. This is my parents' cat. He is very, very old. He is 22 years old. Yeah, he turned 22 in April. He's grumpy. He's allowed. But he keeps going into bags and going after stuff that's not his. Right? So, thought I'd pick him up and at least include him for this. So, yay. Yeah, he is so over that. He's like, why have you picked me up? Anyway. I think that's about it. So really short episode this week. Sorry for the short episode. I'm hoping that I will get some stuff done. I'm hoping that some of my mojo comes back. I did do some cross stitching this week, but I didn't bring it out because I've had to rip back, like literally rip out about half of what I did, and I can't look at it right now. So once I get back to that, I am like 3 months behind. No, it'll be 3 months behind by the time July rolls around. Yeah, I'm still working on April. So anyway, have a great week, you guys. I'm going to try to record next week. we will see. Hopefully work does get a little less crazy. Yeah. So I'll see you next time. Bye. Keep knitting, spinning, crocheting on.